Okay, so just a disclaimer, if you hear background noise, it's either my AC or my guineas, all right? Just to let y'all know, that's what's going on. But getting started, been a year, right? I can definitely say from day one to day now, I am not the same mentally when it comes to nursing. It has taught me so many skills and so many confident methods that have furthered my competence in what I'm doing. Or if I never mentioned it before, I can say it now. I was a transplant nurse at one of the medical centers where I live, and it was the number one medical center. I'm just saying. But seriously, the transplant unit was one of the most cruel. Nah, it wasn't cruel. It was honestly one of the most best learning experiences a person can ever have. I would like to say that it was easy, but it wasn't at all. When I started looking for jobs straight out of nursing school, I actually was looking while I was in my last semester, and I ended up knowing that I wanted to work in some type of ICU type of setting, or not have like a ton of patients. I did not want to do med surg. I did not want to do cardiac. I did not want to do none of that. Those nurses, I kudos you to the highest. But me, that was not for me. I already knew I didn't want a big patient assignment at all. It seemed very stressful. I was a tech while I was in nursing school, and I observed the nurses that were nurses then, and I worked on a very busy unit as a tech. It just wasn't for me. It's a crazy story how I ended up at transplant, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. I never heard of it before, never knew of anything like that before. And the manager there was so amazing in my interview, which lasted an hour and a half. Yeah. And I mean, she asked me very pertinent questions to see if I was the person for the job. But honestly, we talked and had very good, funny conversation, to the point where when I got off the call, I knew. I was like, I have this job. It's no way I don't have this job. I got to have this job. This is what my heart is feeling is for me. And I had 2 other job positions to interview for at this same facility, but I knew deep down that this was the one. I did the other interviews out of courtesy and appreciation for taking the time out to talk to me, and I might have changed my mind. I don't know. Who knows? But this is where I wanted to go. I just knew. Ended up there, had like the best precepting experience. And I mean, there were days I cried. There were days I was upset at myself. There were days that I didn't feel like I was a good nurse. But overall, I was getting good feedback. And the more and more my preceptor let me do, which was like from day one, I had a backpack on and ready to do this, thinking it's gonna be like nursing school and they're gonna show me what to do, and then maybe next week I'll do it. No, day one I was hanging IVs, piggybacks, I was drawing blood and all this stuff, and I'm like, yo, I wasn't ready. Okay, I barely got to do this in school. A lot of my schooling, we weren't allowed to like really touch a lot of stuff, and then of course, when everything shut down, you couldn't go to the facilities to do clinicals. But I was surprised at how much I could do, but at the same time I was scared. I was real scared, because I was like, great, I know how to do it now, but then you're going to expect me to know how to do it again, and what if I don't? So it was an emotional roller coaster, but I want to say my first year was a good year. My first year, I did not wish I worked somewhere else. I did not regret my decision. There were times I wanted to give up because I didn't think I was good enough. But with encouragement and determination a little bit, just a a tad bit of determination, I stayed. So my patient ratio was 1 nurse to 3 patients, or 1 nurse to 4 patients, depending on the acuity. I had post-surgical patients, pre-surgical patients. I did admissions, discharges. I did codes. Hey, everything was there. And what I like to describe that unit as is a step-down ICU, where you don't necessarily have to be in the ICU, but you are an ICU type patient. So I got to do a lot of ICU-related things, titration of drips and arterial line things and drawing blood. It was always fun. You had a lot of hands-on skills. So why did I leave? Well, it was a lot. It was a great experience. I had a great team. I loved the team. But it was a lot. And also, I moved, so I was driving like an hour to work and stuff, and I didn't feel like driving an hour to work and driving an hour back home no more, so that really played a big part in it. But although I left, I took what I learned from that amazing experience to my new job, which is, I'm just going to go into it a little bit. I am a postpartum nurse. So I went from working with full-on adults in critical care to now I'm working as a postpartum nurse with moms and babies. What a change. What a freaking change, my guy. Like, what a freaking change. I've only been in this business for like 5 days, you know what I'm saying? So don't ask me no questions, but whew, I've seen so much in 5 freaking days. And some of it I wasn't ready for, you know what I'm saying? But I do think that this is where I want to be, and this is going to get me to my goal. I do want to do a different type of nursing. It's still in this area, but more higher nursing. And if you'll probably figure it out. But I don't want to say it yet because I don't want to jinx it. But right now, I'm in the stepping stone to get to that place. So, what are my pros and what are my cons? This is my first year update, right? So my pros have been the knowledge and skills I've developed, the confidence I have developed as a nurse. It's unbelievable. You walk in day one, you're like, you're still in nursing student mind. But I bet you, by the end of your first year, you're not in nursing student mind if you have the right people around you. You're going to be like fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were telling me they thought I was a nurse for 5 years. I'm like, don't say that. Okay? We're not. I'm not. It's not. She's not. Like, I'm not. But I appreciate the compliment. But it was more so of the confidence that I had. And some of knowledge too. Knowledge definitely supported it. And then, you know, another pro is that you develop relationships with these patients. You would develop relationships with your co-workers. And it's such an amazing experience to be able to bond with people in their most vulnerable moments. Like, patients are sick. Patients are not able to do for themselves most of the time. And being that person that can tell them, hey, I got you, all right? Like, we're going to get through this. You're going to get through this. Is an amazing thing. So you got it. Whoever I'm talking to, You got it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard because you're learning something new. You're not learning something easy. But apply what you know and ask questions 100% of the time. And you'll get there. It's just going to take some time. Like I said, I wasn't even ready by the time I got off orientation. I had 3 months. I still had a lot of learning to do. Even when I left, I would still have to have a lot of learning to do. But I left. Now, the cons. Very typical cons that you can probably think about with nursing in a hospital or a facility in overall. Just sometimes you're understaffed. You're not paid enough. You're overworked, mentally drained. Those can be the things that I can say off the top of my head I've experienced. And it's not because of the patients, and it's not because of my fellow coworkers. It's just nursing. And I'm pretty sure a lot of nurses can relate to that. But that's when you got to weigh it out and be like, do I really want to do this, or do I want to do something else? And you got to make your choice. I wouldn't say I have the best advice, but what I will say is I have really a understanding of intense work nursing, and because of that understanding, I can say, hey, you got this path you could take, and you got this path you can take. But it's up to you, and it's based off of your experience, and it's based off of what you want to do. You know, everybody that I'm around knows I failed nursing school. I went back again. Don't know why, but I did it and finished and kept going to school. I'm still in school. I'm working on getting better degrees and while still working and learning a whole new freaking population. So it's just up to you. That's what I'm going to say about it. So what do I think about my first year? It was great. It was a great experience. It toughened my skin. It gave me a lot of knowledge. It gave me a lot of skills that I hope I don't lose. It taught me it's okay to make mistakes, just as long as you don't kill nobody. And it taught me that not all these healthcare professionals perfect, so don't expect yourself to be perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. We all human. All right? So that's what I have to say about it. Very quick, very simple. If you want me to do something in depth about postpartum, that'll be later. Ask me later, okay? If you want me to do something about transplant, I can rock the transplant, you know what I'm saying? I can give you some information about that. But nursing, how to balance life, ask me later. Ask me later. But anything, y'all, just let me know in the description below.